Okay, welcome to our Tuesday night team call. It's Marilyn Mosier, and I'm so excited to welcome our special guests tonight. We have Pro 7 powerhouse couple, Rob Smollack and his wife, Summer. You guys are amazing. I remember when you came to Sioux Falls about a week, about a year ago, was it? Right before you hit Pro 7. You were Pro 6 still, but working really hard. And just, it's so amazing when you hit that rank because it's such this great momentum drive that happens and the magic happens. And you guys are always working so hard. I swear every Monday I get an invite from Rob. You guys are so kind to invite our team to your calls. And you know, that's what's the beauty of this LifeVantage culture is that we lift everyone up. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. We are all one team building and branding LifeVantage together. And that's what I really, really love about our culture at this company. And just a little bit about you two. You have a brand, what is she, a 2.5-year-old little Gab? Yeah. It's so adorable. And you two have only been married, what, about 5 years?
Well, is it 5 about now?
Oh no, 4 years.
Four. Okay. Well,
yeah, we got in this business just about the same time we got married.
Right. Okay. That's because your story is so cute because you kind of were dating and then it was kind of like, you can talk about that tonight a little bit, but just the fact that you're super successful. So Rob was a PA, physician's assistant, retired, and started being the entrepreneur that you were, you know, started several companies, and then you own this large, is it a camo company? Camouflage company with hunting and everything. And I love the fact that you've got this hunting lodge out in the middle of Montana. Just amazing, you two. And then the fact, Summer, you were a sales rep for a medical device company. Very, very successful, both of you in your own right. But the fact that you hungered for something more and you found this amazing company, and to just have you as part of this company is really, really exciting. And it's been a great blessing for me and our team because, like I said, you guys are always so welcoming and willing to work with us and being team players and great examples of the way you're building and being consistent and growing. And you guys have to be close to Pro 8, I swear.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Well, just I'm going to toss it to you guys and let you share the passion you have for this company, this product line, and just how you went from, you know, kind of didn't build too fast in the beginning, but then the last couple 2.5 years, you've really taken off fast, and give us some of that magic that you have that really changed that momentum. So I'm going to toss it over to you guys, and thank you for joining our call tonight.
Oh, you bet, my dear. Thank you so much for having us on. I'm going to let Summer go first in case she's got to go.
Here, so I'm gonna get her little girl for you.
So I'll let Summer go first because that little 2.5-year-old is going on 30.
Oh yeah, I totally get it.
She's eating dinner with the goggles on her head.
She's got swimming goggles on her head. She loves them. I don't know. She wearing swimming goggles.
It was so crazy. But you know what? This is what's on my heart, and I'm just going to share this with you guys because I went and enrolled a new distributor earlier this morning, a personal of ours as well. And so we're still out personally sponsoring people. And she said, here's my biggest fear. Because she says, Summer, I'm so afraid of this. Well, what are you afraid of? Tell me that. And she says, I'm afraid that I'm going to inconvenience people, that I'm going to kind of disturb them, that I'm going to go. I go, are you serious right now? She said, yeah, that I'm so afraid to approach people because I just don't want to inconvenience. Are you kidding? You guys, if you're feeling like that, or if you've ever had those thoughts go through your head or people in your team, this is not an inconvenience to inconvenience people at all. This is a gift. Mm-hmm. Because if it wasn't for this company, our baby girl wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for this company, we wouldn't have been able to, we wouldn't be able to
wouldn't be together, you guys. Honestly, if it wasn't, I was gone 9 months out of the year. She was gone about 7 months out of the year. How could we have a relationship?
We couldn't. We would have never been together. He's the greatest man in the world. I adore him. I have massive respect. He's my equal. I just am so unbelievably grateful for this company, but to hear the stories from other people that we've impacted and that they've impacted. And it's just, they inspire us every single day to keep going, because this is a gift, but there's something here for everybody. So let's just help them make their own decisions and their own choices. I lay out all the choices for them. We lay out all the choices. They make their own decision. But this is an inconvenience. If you could help somebody with their health that's struggling to feel better, that's not an inconvenience. That's helping them. How about financially? How about time? How about freedom? How about security? How about purpose? How about hope, passion? Whatever. People are lacking something in their life. And right here, right now, we have a gift for every single person that is out there. It's just their choice on how they want to become involved. This is not an inconvenience. If that's ever, I don't know, that was on my heart because that happened this morning. But at the end of the day, that's why we keep going out there. That's why we keep sharing this information, because so many people are longing, hoping, wishing, wanting, praying for something to come into their life. And we have the answer. All we have to do is just go share it with them. So I'm hearing my name.
Yeah,
I love you guys. That's my thoughts about that, but I gotta go.
That's our life, you guys. We are go, go, go. We've got, let's see, we got 3 whiteboards in our office, and we write down our daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. I've always done that. You know, I've been really very successful financially. Even when I got into this, I was doing very, very well financially, but I had 0 time in my life. You know, you guys know, most of you guys know our stories. My oldest son died in my arms. I was divorced after 19 years of marriage, and I was paralyzed from the waist down for 3.5 months, all in the same year, 8 years ago. All that happened to me. And so when a doctor shared this information with me, and like I said, I was in medicine for about 10, 12 years. I love the patient care part of it. I love helping people, but everything else I hated with it. I really did. The insurance companies, everything else is like, wow, I'm spending more time doing stupid stuff instead of taking care of my patients. And I hated it. And so I started buying companies and starting companies. I was pretty young because I knew I was going to walk away from medicine sooner or later. But I had a family, so I wasn't going to do anything stupid financially. And so that's where I was at. But, you know, when me and Summer met, it was like unbelievable. I always talk about it. I'm just this ordinary dude, right? I came from nothing. We had nothing. There's days I didn't eat. And so I respect money. I respect successful people because I know what they had to go through. But I'll pick a penny up. If I see a penny on the ground, I pick it up, put it in my pocket. I don't repel money. That's why most people struggle with money, is they repel it. Because and sometimes I don't even think they realize it. And so we've got it here, like hourly wage, daily wage, weekly wage, monthly wage. You know, and we've got a goal that we set. And when we hit that, we raise it again, and we raise it again, and we raise it again. And it's crazy, is we raised it twice in about the last month and a half, as just far as, you know, and we sold all of our companies, you guys, except the clothing company. I had 11 when I got involved in this. We just sold my laundry detergent company, was the last company. We sold that to a banker and 4 of his sons. And they're having a ball with the company, which is really cool. So I'm glad they're having success with it. But I wanted time freedom so bad. And I missed such a huge part of my 3 boys' life because I wanted to give them a life I never had growing up. And so I worked and I worked and I worked. And I really figured out that money thing. I got good at real estate. I got good at investing. I got good at buying stocks. But I studied it. Look at, like, I mean, here, this is just my desk. Here's 3 books that I've been reading just in the last couple of days. And so I'm constantly reading. And then me and Summer kind of mastermind at night how the day went, what we did. And then we read the text messages from the people that we've helped. It's been incredible. And we with Joe Bowen, you guys all know Joe. He's an elite Pro 7. Him and his son just left. They just left. They stayed overnight with us last night. And Joe's like, I want to know what you guys are doing. Tony Krashowitz was just here. Carrie Dickey stayed a week and a half with us. Carrie and her mom Jane were here. Carrie was here for her mom Jane's 79th or 80th birthday. Wow. We went to an awesome little restaurant. You guys, we live in the mountains outside of Missoula, Montana, about 30 miles out of Missoula. Our closest town is about 2,500 people. And we met Carrie on a boat in Ireland. Yeah. And so we just got to be kind of friends with her. And I knew she was going through some stuff. And I just told Summer, I said, reach out to Carrie to see how she's doing. And they started chatting back and forth, and Carrie's like, I got to get out of California. So I was like, why don't you come and stay with us? We got a big, beautiful home. And Carrie's like, wow. And she did. She booked a flight and came out the next week. What's amazing about her, you guys, is literally she's constantly teaching. That's the one thing we learned from Carrie. We went out to eat a lot, and she was prospecting full bore. Like, we sponsor a lot of people, and we're constantly prospecting, but Carrie made us up our game even more by just watching her. We had a gentleman in the house that one of our downline brought over, and I was sharing the business with him, and I could see Carrie was sitting in the kitchen on the countertop with Summer, and they were juicing something, right? And that just seems like a lot of work for 2 glasses of juice. I'll be honest with you. And Carrie kept looking over, and I could tell she wanted to say something so bad. And finally she goes, Rob, do you mind? I go, no. She crawled over my countertop, and she got right in the guy's face, and she's like, what do you want? I've been listening to you for 30 minutes, and you're like, but. And I mean, and I was like, whoa, because we're pretty aggressive, but she even amped it up more. And it was awesome. We were learning from her constantly. And so it's kind of cool to have those guys, people come by, and because we're kind of in that hub, and they're coming down that corridor, going to Seattle, they kind of got to go by us. And so they most of them know where we live now. And so that's what this business gave us, you guys, is that free time. Anybody ever tell you, maybe Marilyn, they go, man, you're so lucky. You have people tell us that all the time. Man, you guys are so lucky. We've worked our guts out. And, we build very methodically to you guys. We're very wide. I think I'm about 89 wide, and Summer's probably 45 wide.
Wow.
And we got people underneath everybody. And when we sponsor somebody, we get somebody underneath them as fast as we can. You got about 90 days. And I remember Tyler Daniels telling us that one time, because we built this on our own. We have had no help. Our upline Pro 10s left. And so we had zero help. Now, Marcel is in our upline, but he's never done anything. He's never gone down to debt. But we use him for guidance, like, what do I do here or there? So he's been awesome that way, but we built it on our own. And so the biggest thing for us, honestly, was being consistent. We're so consistent, persistent, consistent, but we always do what we say we're going to do. And like these team calls, we have over 100 people on our team call.
Wow.
The biggest thing, you guys, if I can tell you anything, is promote. Get unbelievably, amazingly awesome at promoting. I would rather get people coming to the LVAs and the conventions. I could care less if they're in the business, because 100% of the people that we've got to go to an LVA or a convention have signed up 100% of the time. Here's an example. And Marilyn, just let me know how much time we have, because I don't want to keep you guys.
It's a 30-minute call. So yeah, about 15 more minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay. And so Twin Falls, Idaho, we have an LVA there, right? We have the trainings. And we have a group in Salt Lake City, and they're all young. We've got about 3,500 people in our group, and about 600 of them are 25 or younger. And we have a good group of them in Salt Lake City area. And so their closest is Twin Falls. It's a few hours. And I went down there and I did a meeting with Cole. He's that 18-year-old kid that went pro 4 in our business his first month in 22 days. And so we went down there with Cole. We did a bunch of meetings, and we got a few to get involved, but there was a bunch that just hadn't pulled the trigger. And so I got a hotel conference room. I rented the conference room. I had the meeting, got them all there. And I said, I'm going to pay for every one of you guys to go. You need to go. So it was $25 a piece. 12 of them went. 11 of them signed up the day of the LV after it was over. And then another one signed up the next day when I did the follow-up. So they all signed up. And people are like, man, that cost you a few $100s. There's 2 Pro 4s, 2 Pro 3s, and 3 Pro 2s out of those 12. So it's worth it, right? And so we invest in our business. I think, like I did a call the other night, we've got a lot of bankers and financial planners in our business, and they come to us for advice because they don't know how to make money, And so I try to tell them about this business. To me, you guys, is just numbers. With it being publicly traded, we've got access to all the numbers. And so for the longest, about 16, 18 months, I built this business completely off of numbers. And so I had to do that so I wouldn't get attached if they told me no. Right? Because when I got involved, I mean, I would negotiate huge deals in business. And so I had to be confident, and some people stay cocky, but it was just confidence because I failed a million times at everything I've ever done. I just never quit. And so my confidence was so built up that, boy, in the beginning, when people would tell me no, it crushed me because I took it personally. It's like, what's wrong with me? God, I do very well. Why would you not? And so I had to do numbers. And so we tell our group, go get me 30 no's. Go get me 30 no's as fast as you can. But I don't mean just slinging mud against the wall. I mean, we share the information. We do the proper follow-up. We do a validation. Follow-up. Go get me 30 no's, and I guarantee you'll make probably $1,000 to $1,500. For every 30 no's, you'll make about $1,000 to $1,500. And so it got our group used to failing, but the success came with it because they were always, out of doing 30 presentations, they were always signing up at least 2, if not 3. And so they were making money while they were failing. And so it made it easier for them to, if that makes sense, it made it easier for them to deal with that rejection. Just knowing I'm just going to get 30 no's. And so they'd have their calendar, they'd get a no and they'd check it off. And they'd get a no and they check it off. And they get a no and they check it off. And I don't know if you guys ever read this book.
I think I've sent that out, but
The Greatest Networker in the World. Unbelievable. You know what? And I've read so many books. I've never read this. And when Carrie was here, she goes, Rob, buy this book and read it. And so while she was here, it came in and I laid on the couch and read it. It's only about 120 pages. The number one thing in network marketing is it's got to be fun. It's got to be fun. That's the number one. It's the most important thing is it has to be fun. The reason why is because if a person's still having a lot of fun and they feel like they're a part of something and they're not having any success, most people will still stick around, right? But if they're not having any fun and they're not having any success, the retention drops drastically. And so we changed that about 1.5 years ago in our group. Like we do weekly contests, we do monthly contests, and we're doing a contest right now that has been huge for our business. We did a Zoom call where we had, I don't know, there was about 130 people. Where it was on one of our team calls, but I think there was 132 or 33 that night. You didn't have to be present to be in part of our contest, but if you weren't there, you had to text us and let us know. And so they let us know. And what we did is we did a live Zoom and we had a whiteboard and we drew names and we partnered up. So we drew teams. And for the next 3 months, the team that does the most volume added up over 3 months, we're going to take them on a cruise. Wow. And it has taken some of the people that have done nothing for 2 years that are just crushing this now. And what's really cool about it is you got somebody, maybe he's a pretty kind of a dynamo really going out there, and then somebody that they drew that's not much, but that people that weren't doing much feel like, I got to help this guy, right? I got to help them work team. And it's kind of like they created their own accountability partner by doing that. And we post every day who's in the lead, and the lead has changed every day. We started at the middle of June, so we've been doing it for about 3 weeks, and it's unbelievable what's happening with that group, and it's a lot of fun. We don't like the cross-lining stuff is okay because they're not doing that, but they're cheering each other on. They're cheering each other on. We've got a private Facebook site. It's a private one. Nobody else could get on it, and as soon as somebody enrolls, the person that enrolled them invites them to the group. And then you get 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people welcoming them to the group. And they're like, oh my God. And they feel like they're a part of something. And it's been huge for our business, you guys. I mean, I guess if I can tell you anything. Yeah, Julia, go ahead.
I do want to cut you off, but I do have a question.
That's okay, go ahead.
Are you finished?
No, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, great. I want to understand. So you've been in traditional business. You had 11 businesses.
Yeah.
Most of us probably came from traditional business. I did. I was a pharmaceutical rep.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what Summer was at first. That's Summer's first job was she worked for Pfizer and then another company, and then she became that for Novartis.
Yep. Cool. And a doctor shared it with me too. What I want to know from you is, how do you position, this is publicly traded. That was super important to me too. How do you help us differentiate traditional business versus network marketing versus LifeVantage? So if you could wrap that up.
That's an awesome question, Julia, because I get on the LifeVantage Elite page a little bit, not very much. I don't bother with a lot of that stuff, but most of the elites don't understand business. They don't, and it hurts them in this. Like a lot of them couldn't rebuild if they had to go back and rebuild again. They would struggle because they don't understand the business concept. And a lot of people I see give corporate crap for, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. Corporate's not a network marketing company. That's a conventional business. Darren Jensen is running a conventional business. It's not a network marketing business, and people don't understand that. And so when I'm sharing this business, we share all the information, but I make this very critical, especially when you're sharing with business people. I said, come from my business background. I said, man, the first thing I looked at when I saw it was publicly traded is who's buying shares of this company? Is it the distributor force or is there some heavy hitters? And when I saw BlackRock, the largest investor in the world, bought about 900,000 shares, not only the largest investor in the world, but the most prestigious law firm in the world. They're not going to let anything happen to this company. They own over 900,000 shares, millions and millions and millions of dollars. So when I saw that, I was like, holy moly. But then I saw also Vanguard, Renaissance, Tool Capital, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, two of the largest banking institutions in the country. And when I'm sharing this, I was like, would that interest you to be partners with that type of collateral? Well, heck yeah. Well, then from a medical standpoint, I said, man, when I went on PubMed, I started doing just 5 minutes worth of research, and I saw Harvard, Ohio State, LSU, TCU, VCU, Washington State, Oregon State, the American Heart Association, National Institute of Health, some of the most respected medical universities, medical institutions in the country, spending millions of their own dollars to prove what my product base does. That's a no-brainer. So financially, I'm covered. Medically, I'm covered. I just had to figure out how to do it. People get so caught up in the medical, the scientific. They get so caught up, and I got to research this and the stock. It's already taken care of. Figure out how to do the business. And that was just numbers. Get in front of this many people a month and just do it consistently. And that's how I shared this business. And then I might bring, because a lot of people, they think real estate's awesome, right? We own a lot of real estate. We own a lot of commercial, a lot of rental. But this is how I do it. Like we're up in Montana. Like I'm going to use this as a quick example. Pro 7 average income, a little over $13,400 a month. But I use $10,000 a month, so it's easy for the numbers for people to understand. If I bought a house around that Butte Anaconda area where I grew up, it would cost me about $200,000 to buy a house, and I'd rent that house out for about $500-600 a month, because that's what the average rental is. How many houses would I have to buy at $200,000 a month to make $10,000 a month? At $500 a month rent? Well, 20. I just bought 20 houses at $200,000. I got to put 20% down, right? And so that's 40,000. I'm putting 40 grand down. I'm financing 160,000, not even counting interest, just the principal times 20. That's 3.2 million plus the interest. I'm now financing over $4 million, but I'm making 10 grand a month on rentals. That's neat. But I'm $4 million in debt for $1,250. We did that in this company in 22 months.
Wow.
With no debt. That's when you start, you got to compare apples to apples with people. And when you get a business person and you explain it like that, like, I mean, Everett Schilling, I respect Everett because he came from a very strong business background too. And I remember the first time I shared this and Everett called me when I was done, he goes, Rob, holy crap. He goes, you speak my language. He goes, I've never seen it shared like that. But honestly, the product's amazing, but if people can't afford it, it's useless. So mentally, I have to help people financially. The products are there. I get that. But I got to help them financially because if they get off their auto ship, they very rarely, if you look at the numbers, very rarely do they ever get back on an auto ship. So I got to get them making money as fast as I can. You know, and so that's what me and Summer do. Like she signed that person up this morning. We already got 3 meetings tomorrow for her. And we'll sign somebody up for her, at least a customer. Mm-hmm. Right? And so did that help you, Julie, a little bit if you come at them like that?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love the business side, and I know you've got such a strong business background, so I wanted to pick your brain on that. I loved it. Thank you very much. It's awesome.
I think that's where people get stuck is the products are amazing, but where I've seen people get stuck in certain areas is the product focus was so strong in the beginning that they rank advance fairly quickly, and then they hit a wall. Because they've already gone through their friends and the family with the product and they didn't understand that, you know, now they're cold contacts and now they're freaking out a little bit. And that's where they hit a wall. And we just share all of the information. If they're a distributor, great. If they're a customer, great. Like we're the only ones to qualify for the influencer all 3 times. We're the only elites in the company to ever do it.
Congratulations.
All of them. I think we were in the top 16 this last one. And that's what we use these incentives and the contest to build our business. And our group, does it like crazy because we promote it, and they do very well with it. But I remember as soon as they announced the influencer this last time, I text Darren and Justin. I said, we'll be top 5. We're going to Bora Bora. I didn't know that all the other world was in it too. So we ended up in this top 16. I think top 7 or something in the US, but it needed to be top 5. So, but we still get $5,000 they're going to give us here next week, and they're sending us to Maui, I guess, whatever. So, but we use a contest to build our business, and we promote those like crazy to our downline. Remember, you guys, if you got one person in your business consistently going to a training or convention, that's $1,000 you'll make that year. That's the one number that stuck with me from the first day I got in. They said, you want to make $100,000 a year in this? Because that's about what it was going to take to retire summer. Because she wouldn't quit her job when we got married. We didn't need the money, but she would not quit her job. And I got it. I said, well, you need to build it. And they said, you got to get 100 people to trainings and conventions. The month that we went Pro 7, we had 107 people at the LVA. And I think there was like 112 at the convention.
Wow.
And the same thing with Pro 5, Pro 6, all our numbers, they're very close. The elites, I see elites that'll go like Pro 7 and awesome, but they got 3 people. That's not solid. It'll go backwards. You got to plug them into stuff like this around newer people, like Marilyn doing this. That's awesome, Marilyn, because we do these a lot. We've had Carrie talk on 2 or 3 of our calls. We've had Sherry Hollenbeck. Your group gets so used to you talking that we bring somebody else new in. And it just kind of re-energizes them again. It kind of fires them up because maybe they can relate to that person better than they can us. Because we're kind of like in your face people. And sometimes that's a little strong for some people, but they follow us. See, if they believe in you, they trust you, and they respect you, they'll follow you. And the only way that you earn those 3 things is you got to lead by example. There's no other way. You got to be a person of your word and lead by example. You'll never get them following you if you're not those 3. And you'll get those 3 if they trust you, respect you, and they believe in you. And you get that by being a person of your word. And so we stick to that like crazy. So I hope that helps you guys.
Yes, I love it. And one thing I wanted to mention too, I mean, with you being a physician assistant, you could so easily go down the product road.
Huge.
And I'm surprised that, I know your success, obviously, maybe it was because you shifted more to the business. I don't know, but I'm sure you do both.
Yeah, we do. We've got tons of customers because when we're following up, we always assume they're in. But when we're sharing this with them, we're already plugging them into like our building depth type stuff, the conventions, the calls. We're already plugging them in. We already assume they're in. And so we use that. And this is where our sponsor rate right now is about 87%. And I track numbers like crazy. And it's like those Zoom calls that we do every Monday night. Yeah. The more people that are on it, we have a flood. Like last night, there was like 60 some people. I think 11 people signed up last night. Now, a lot of them some of them weren't in our group, outside groups, like bring people on, and like Eric Beal, Eric and Christy Roller up there in Kansas City. I think we did the training and the Kansas City's group jumped on and Mark Harris jumped on our call. And Eric's like, wow, I've been stuck for a year and you just unclogged me. My people are like freaking out right now, Robin. So we invite everybody on our calls. I just want this company to get to $1 billion. And so we'll help anybody we can. We really will. We truly love people. And I wish everybody could have the life that we have. We literally do whatever we want and it's unbelievable. Now we set ourselves up pretty financially before this, but this is giving us more of that freedom. And we've never been apart. Me and Summer have never been apart. We have not been apart even a day. And our baby girl we've never been away from her. We've literally been together every day since the day she was born. And it's incredible. I didn't know that a relationship could honestly be this good because I was never around for my one relationship for 19 years. I was gone all the time. I thought it was a great relationship. And then all of a sudden I'm divorced because I was just never there, and my sons, this business gave me that chance, you guys, to be the father that I always truly knew I could be and the husband I always wanted to be. I knew I could do it, but I needed that avenue. Like colleges would have me come in and speak business, finance, and high schools and stuff like that, and companies. And I could speak it, but I didn't know how to teach it. I didn't, but then I get involved in this and I'm like, wow, there's this pretty simple system here. If I just stay consistent with this, which was crazy because that's all I did in the outside world. But when I came in here, I was able to teach it, if that makes sense. But we go over the science. Like I got off of a call just before I jumped on this one with a guy that's military, and he asked a few questions. And a lot of times, most of the times we know the answer, but I'll say, you know what, that's a great question. I'm not sure about it, but let me call somebody. And I'll call like Patricia, Gandhi, or I'll call somebody in the medical profession if it's a medical question, even if I know the answer, because I just want them to there's another person,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yep, I love it. Anyone else have a quick question? Otherwise, we'll let you hop off the call. Thank you so much for being on tonight.
Oh, you bet, my dear.
Amazing. I love your energy, love your passion. And it is so true. It's anyone can do this. So we just plug into the system and stay consistent. I love that message. Anyone else have a quick call or a quick question before we let them go? All right. Well, I think we've got everything we needed to fill our tank. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks again, Rob, for always being such a great team player.
Oh, sure. You bet. If you guys need anything, just don't hesitate.
I appreciate it.
Love you guys. Bye-bye, guys.
Take care. Love you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.